Liza Soberano deleted every photo of him. And for 8 years, their love story was famous everywhere. Then one day, it was all just gone. But wait, the real reason will shock you. For months, Liza said nothing at all. The whole country was left to wonder why. Until a podcast finally got the truth. Enrique and I, we've been over since 2022. The internet exploded with the news, but the biggest shock was her calm smile. That smile hides a very hard childhood. Liza had to work to support her family when she was just a kid. She became the nation's sweetheart and built a huge career. She had all the luxuries you could imagine. Then she did the unthinkable. She just left it all behind. So, what is the real story behind the fame? Tonight we will uncover the truth about her ex-boyfriend, her career, the luxuries she gave up, and her secret life behind the fame. Stay with us to the end, and you will finally understand why she risked everything. This is the Liza Soberano you have never seen before. The story of Liza Soberano doesn't start with a spotlight. It starts with a different name, Hope Elizabeth Soberano, and a nightmare she never talks about. She was born in California, but her beginning was full of sadness. Her parents separated right after she was born, and her mother was fighting a very hard battle with drugs. But wait, the story gets even more scary. Her mother's boyfriend kidnapped baby Hope and her older brother. Imagine the fear in that little girl's heart. The police had to step in to save them from that danger. But even today, Liza stays silent about this pain. She will not share old family photos. When reporters ask, she just changes the subject. And that silence tells you a big secret. The girl who survived that chaos learned a rule she would never forget. Never trust too easily. Always protect yourself. So how does a little girl from so much pain become the nation's sweetheart? At just 13 years old, Hope moved to the Philippines. She went to live with her father she barely knew. She had no acting experience and no famous friends. Just a family that needed money to survive. And a little girl who knew she had to be the one to save them. Her first job was very small. You could barely even see her on screen. But that first paycheck, it was everything. It paid the family's bills. At only 14 years old, Hope became her family's provider. While other kids worried about homework, she worried about rent. That salary made me the breadwinner, she later said. Can you believe that kind of pressure on a teenager? She worked so hard, taking acting classes and singing lessons. Every single audition wasn't about becoming a star. It was about making sure her family had food to eat. But here's what her fans never knew. Every smile on TV was hiding a huge weight on her small shoulders. She was just trying to survive, but surviving was not going to be enough for her. So when a studio boss told her to change her name, she said yes right away. The name Hope felt too real, too sad, and too heavy. The world, she thought, needed someone lighter. They needed Liza. A studio boss looked at her and said something that would change her life. Hope is not a star's name, he told her. You need a name people will remember. So the girl named Hope became the actress named Liza. And with that new name, she put on a mask she would wear for years. The change was like magic. She starred in movies like Must Be Love. People noticed her beautiful face and her sweet smile. But what they didn't see was the sad girl hiding behind that perfect mask. Then, in 2014, she got her big break. The show was called Forevermore. She played a simple strawberry farmer who falls in love, and the world fell in love with her. Her chemistry with her co-star Enrique Gil was amazing. The TV ratings went through the roof. But wait, was their on-screen love real? Or were they just two lonely people playing a part so well they started to believe it themselves? Because in 2014, Liza Soberano and Enrique Gil became a real couple. And for the next 8 years, the whole country would watch their love story. For 3 long years, they kept their love a secret. Just stolen glances on set and quiet dates. But in 2017, a magazine told everyone the truth. Liza and Enrique were a real couple. The whole Philippines celebrated. Suddenly, they weren't just actors in movies. They were the love story everyone wished was real. Every film they made was like a love letter to their fans. Movies like Alone Together made over 1 billion pesos. But wait, The cameras didn't show the whole truth. Liza was growing up and wanted new challenges. She wanted to play roles that were not just about romance. She dreamed of being seen as a great actress, but the movie business had different plans for her. Because in the Philippines, a famous love team is like gold, and trying to leave that team, that feels like a betrayal. So when Liza started talking about her Hollywood dreams, people got worried. The whispers about her leaving started to get louder. And then in October 2022, those whispers became real. It all started in October 2022. There was no big announcement. There was no sad post online, just a strange and heavy silence. But wait, her fans noticed something was wrong. All the photos with Enrique suddenly disappeared. The sweet comments they left each other stopped completely. And for many, many months, Liza did not say one word. The gossip magazines went crazy with stories. Did he cheat on her? They asked. Did she leave him for Hollywood? They wondered. Was their love story all fake? They whispered, but Liza didn't fight back or cry on camera. She just vanished from the public eye. It wasn't until a podcast in 2025 that she finally told the truth. And what she said will shock you. I don't regret it, she said with a calm voice. No tears, no drama, just a simple, honest truth. Because here's the real reason behind their breakup. Liza didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she finally started loving herself more. And loving herself meant doing the one thing that would upset so many people. She chose to walk away. While the Philippines was sad, Liza was packing her bags. She bought a one-way ticket to a new life in Los Angeles. But her big move would make many people very angry. The mean comments started to appear online right away. People said, "She thinks she's too good for us now." Others whispered, "Hollywood will chew her up and spit her out." But why would she face so much hate just for following a dream? Liza didn't fight back or post a long apology. She just shared one simple line on Instagram. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find yourself. But was it really about finding herself or running away? Leaving wasn't just about her Hollywood dreams. It was about escaping a role that had become a prison. In the Philippines, she had to be sweet and perfect all the time. But in LA, she could be real and complicated. But wait, Hollywood was not easy like she thought. They didn't know how to say her name. They didn't know any of the movies she made for the first time in a long time. Liza felt like a nobody. So how did the girl who ruled the Philippines prove herself in the most competitive industry on earth? After so many auditions and hearing no a lot, Liza finally got her big chance. Her first Hollywood movie was called Lisa Frankenstein. It was a funny and kind of scary movie. But wait, the movie did not make a lot of money. In fact, most people would say it flopped. But something amazing happened for Liza. The movie critics loved her. Big newspapers called her the breakout star of the film. One critic said she was the most compelling part of the whole movie. She wasn't just good in her role, she was unforgettable. In that one movie, she proved what she had been saying for years. She was never just a pretty face. She was a real talented actress who could play any part. And just like that, everything changed for her. Liza Soberano wasn't just Enrique's ex anymore. People in Hollywood were calling her the next big thing. But being famous in two different countries means double the pressure. So what does her private life really look like now? Let's talk about the money behind the famous smile. Liza Soberano is the face of huge brands. You've seen her in ads for Maybelline and Samsung. She is also the star of commercials for Jollibee. She owns a beautiful apartment in Los Angeles. Her total net worth is estimated at over $10 million. But wait, here is the part that will surprise you. She doesn't actually live like a big movie star. She does her own grocery shopping. She loves to cook her own meals at home. She even does small repairs around her apartment by herself. Being a celebrity was not something I wanted, she said in an interview. And here's something else she's doing. She's studying psychology. She's even thinking about becoming a mental health counselor one day. Because the girl who survived so much chaos just wants a simple life. The fancy houses and cars are just a byproduct of her work. The real prize she is after is peace of mind. But that peace comes with a high price when you are famous. So how does Liza protect the quiet life she has worked so hard to build? Liza Soberano is a very private person. She will not post family photos on social media. She will not talk about her mother in interviews, and she will not share her personal struggles with the public. "I fear unwanted criticisms directed at people close to me," she once said. But why does she keep her life so secret? She shares a very close bond with her brothers and sisters. She is especially close to her half-brother, Justin. "I would do everything for him," she has admitted. But besides that, the world knows almost nothing about her real family life. She has actually turned down many interviews about her breakup. She has refused to discuss the trauma she experienced as a child. She has built walls around herself that are so high no one can climb over them. Because the girl who was kidnapped as a baby learned a very important lesson. You have to control what you can. You have to hide what you can't. And you can never let anyone get too close to your heart. So after everything she has been through, who is Liza Soberano when the cameras stop rolling? Today, at 27 years old, Liza Soberano is no longer performing. She is not the scared 14-year-old breadwinner anymore. She is not the 16-year-old girlfriend the whole country watched. And she is not the perfect sweetheart that everyone adored. So who is the real woman behind all those roles? She is just Liza, a woman who is complicated, imperfect, and for the first time, truly free. For many years, magazines called her one of the most beautiful faces in the world. But wait, those fancy titles don't define her anymore. She is more focused on her next big project. It's a powerful new movie called Patron Saints of Nothing. She is also a respected judge at important film festivals, and she even lends her voice to characters in animated shows. She is building a career that is 100% on her terms, not the career the movie industry forced upon her. Because Liza's story is not about being famous anymore. Can you guess what it's truly about? It's about finding her own freedom. The freedom to choose the roles she believes in. The freedom to live a private life away from the cameras. And the freedom to finally be the person she always wanted to be. So after everything she has been through, what is the final truth about Liza Soberano? Let's be honest about what really happened. Liza Soberano had everything a person could want. She had the love of a nation. She had a career that made her rich. She had all the money she ever needed. She had millions of fans who adored her. But there was one thing she didn't have. She didn't have herself. So she did something that most stars are too scared to do. She made the brave choice to walk away. She left the relationship that her country loved. She left the movie roles that made her a star. She left the perfect image that kept her safe. But wait, her story was never about wanting more fame. It was always about survival. She didn't run to Hollywood to chase a bigger dream. She ran to escape a beautiful cage. Think about her amazing journey from a scared baby who was kidnapped, to a young girl who had to feed her family, from a queen of romance on TV, to a strong woman standing on her own in Hollywood. She went from being Hope to being Liza, to finally just being free. Remember how she deleted every photo of him? And how she ended the perfect fairy tale? She even left the country that made her a star. And through it all, she did it with a quiet smile. Because Liza's story teaches us one very important lesson. You are allowed to outgrow the life that once saved you. So, in the end, Liza Soberano is not a perfect person. She is a private woman who can be complicated. And that is exactly why her story is so important. She didn't become a big star by always playing it safe. She became a legend by being brave enough to start over. If her story made you feel a little braver, please smash that like button. Share this with a friend who needs to hear this. And subscribe for more stories about real courage. Because the best stories are not about being perfect. They are about finding the strength to choose yourself. Now, we want to know what you think. Comment below. What would you walk away from to find your true self? Would it be a relationship? Or maybe a job that makes you unhappy? Could it be a version of you that everyone else loves, but you have outgrown?